Good morning, everybody. We're going to try to bond. If not, I'm probably going to flip computers, and I need more coffee. So just bear with me. Okay. All right, give me 1 second here, and I think we're ready to go. Let me just kind of go like this, and then we're good. Give me 1 second, and then we're good. I don't know why that's so cloudy, but it is. All right. Now, you should, let me go take a look. You should be able to see me. Now I'm going to go check for myself because I'm wondering if you guys are just screwing around with me. Who can do things, huh? Who can figure things out? Looks cloudy though. All right. So I don't know why it's cloudy. All right. But at least you can see me. All right. The head's cut off. I got to raise it up here for that. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to stand. We're just going to stand. All right. That's pretty aggressive. Okay. It's a lot of me coming at you in the morning. All right. Sorry about that. Come on. Here we go. Oh boy. Going to come up all the way here. Except because I would have to raise that more. Oh, hold on. I can solve this very easily. Hold on. Oh boy. Is that better? Kind of. It is, right? It's a little better, I think. Oh boy, no. Yeah, we're going to have to put that there. Let's do that. All right. It's like a tech support group. We did it. Okay. Do I still have the music on? Hold on. Is the music still on? Music's off. All right. We're ready to rock and roll. It's exciting, huh? All right. We're bonding. We've got the video over here. Let's do it. Okay. I do want to go through the indexes, but you have CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show, and you're going to want to watch what the heck happens this week. So the keynote is Jensen tonight. You can see it already up, down. Look at this liquidity grab this morning, which is where they just flushed out the market. Watch this. But wait, there's more. See that liquidity grab? All they did was open it, flush it, get everybody out, and get back in. I need to go through that and get that done. Give me a second here. I thought I was over. I thought I did that. No, you did not. All right, cool. No problem. I'm going to do it now. Where is that? Hold on. I will not curse. I will not curse. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, everything's going my way today. Things are going to change for me. I can feel it. All right. Boom, boom, boom. It's getting better with the internet. Oh, God, it's firing on all cylinders. It's making it rain. Okay. So you're going to want to watch these names today, but that liquidity grab this morning, every single one of these dips, right? Even here, dip, rally. This with MSTR is a little interesting because of the talk about the margin requirements going up. That could be really bad for MSTR if they do that. If everybody does what Interactive Brokers is being rumored to do, that could be like super bad for them. So because you have to delever, people would have to delever. They wouldn't have a choice. They'd have to. So it's definitely an issue for sure. So keep that in mind. I do think I have an account. It's IBKR that started the delevering. I don't have this notice. I have a couple accounts there. I don't have this notice. So we'll see. But I do want to spend some time before we go any further on. Let me just go into this. Yeah, please hit the like button. Helps greatly with the algorithm. I know I'm not out of focus, but small steps. And we'll go from there. Did I load this in yet? Yep, you're processing. let this process. Let me just go from there. Give me 1 second, guys. I actually hired somebody to help me with the pre-market stuff. So it's actually going to go smoother. I know. How could it even go smoother than this, you ask? It could. It could go smoother. But I actually hired somebody to help me with that. You might want to watch that. You're starting to get a double top there, aren't you? So we might want to watch that. If people smell blood there and they smell the delevering, they're going to go after it. So you might want to pay attention to that. Is coin doing something similar? Not really. So you may want to pay attention to this. It's really interesting because I didn't really see that anywhere. Let's get that out there and go from there and then go video and then go there. What else do we have that we're going to go over? Cool. And there's something going on there. He's like, Jason, they have a great system there. The problem with them is that their average client has about, just so you, like, if you went and looked, like if you worked on the street, you have an account at IBKR, right? Their average account is like 400 grand. That's their average. It's very different than Thinkorswim. It's very different than, E-Trade or Robinhood or any of those places. So when they delever, they're really delevering because they're delevering almost on like a mini institutional level. Just FYI. I mean, that's one of the reasons why he's like so adamant about margin. You have to have certain amounts of money to even have certain different levels of margin there. So you go through levels of it. Well, he will increase your margin based upon how much money you have with them. It's tiered. So, and everything at IBKR is negotiable. That's why people that worked in the industry, that's why they like it so much. But yeah, but if he wants to put a rule like that in, or if he has a rule like that in, like, oh, yeah, you're not settling till that day, then you're not settling to that day. What's rocking for me? Oh, a bunch of stuff. All right. Let's get to it. But yeah, Jason, but there's no better place to be. I think I try to get people there. I can explain it where like the stuff that I have there, like I can actually implement like proprietary scanners that I have for like option strategies. Like there's a lot that you can do there. I should do some videos on it, what you can do there. But wait, there's more. All right, let's go. Let's get to it. It's going to be a bit busy day and I got a bunch going on and I'm already rocking. So we want to keep that party going. Gets the people going. Nobody knows what that means. In front of you is the ES. And what I'm going to start doing is just showing you how I see things and where the important levels are. And then you can do whatever you want with this. But we don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but at least you can start with it. If we start with like the 4 hour and just look at what happened, you have the mother of all failed H's. No patterns move faster than failed short patterns. And the reason for that is people are short. And then what they want to do from that short position, they just want to get out. They just really want to get out of it. So it's definitely something that you want to pay attention to. If I am to do the simplest of things, like just start here for a second and hide all the drawings. You can just see your moving averages here. This is your 55, 22, that's 100. You should use what you're comfortable with. I like using the 55 because if it's flipping on the upside, it just tells me it's going to happen sooner. I have more positive confirmations than just a 50. I'll just leave it at that. And it's also tied to fib. But if you can see the 22, I mean, that's a stair step down. You still have some stuff here. There's still stuff that you have to deal with. Now, if you drop that to the hourly, and you can see like, okay, we're over and we could get up to here, drop this down. And again, I'm not going to spend an inordinate amount of time on this because you guys should get it. The undercuts, the rallies, and now you're getting up into that range. If you overlay this and I pop these off, and this is what I'll do is I'll just pop these, I'll hide those for a second. And then what we'll do is just pop these, that'll do it, right? Pop them back in, yay. And then what you're going to do is just get the key levels. Now, that's the election day open, and you failed. And then what did you do? You broke out. I find that labeling this is going to be easier and able to process more information to you faster. You guys can always comment on that, but I think this is a really super easy way to simplify the significance of those levels and why they're so important. So like this is that July CPI month over month, which was, on the S&P. It's also the PCE data. It's also the December contract roll for you, future heads. And you can kind of see what's going on right here. Maybe you're going to break through on that. Maybe you're not. I don't know. CES could do it. And then you would have to watch the levels up here once you start getting into this, right? And you got a couple levels up here you might want to watch, but I don't know if they're of that significance. What I would do is understand that you're probably at a minimum should test the top of the H at this point, and failed breakdown, like failed head and shoulders. I'm cloudy as all heck today. I'm not sure why. I think I slept too much. I got 8 hours of sleep. My body never gets that. So, but if you look at here, can you get back up here? I think what you want to do is look at just a couple key things that I removed on purpose to just kind of show you the significance. Like here's at the high right now, right? And I'm pretty sure that's at the high, isn't it? Yep, yay. So you're at the high on the ES and you're going right to that peak VWAP. So you got to see, are you going to get over that or you're not going to get over it? I don't know. Maybe you get enough to get over it. Maybe you don't. Maybe this move was all short covering. We don't know yet. So we're going to find out together. I love stuff we can do together. So that's kind of how I see it here. And then going from there, if you overlay that and you just pop those moving averages back in, and then you can kind of see what's going on there. You're at a critical level. Whether or not you hold this critical level remains to be seen. I don't have an answer to that. If I overlay this with, let's go look at the SPY for a second. And we'll drop this down to the 4 hour, and I'm going to leave in the pre and the post. And I'm not going to mark off the same levels with the same. You should know where they are. I mean, you should get it. But you're at that 50, 80 level held, 85 held. But you have a failed H here, and then you're up here. You're at the high, right, where you're kind of fighting it on the SPY, and I have it blended with the pre and the post. And then I have this here as well, which is the election. Now, if you did this and you took that off, right, then you can see exactly that you're over it, right? If you put the pre and the post in, you're not. So, or you still are, I'm sorry. There was something weird about doing that, though. There was something different about it. I think it skewed the numbers. I have to go back and look at the volume. There was some reason why I wanted to look at it without the pre and the post. Clearly, that's not it. But you're looking at this 598.56. Do you get through this declining 22? I don't know, but I know that I'm going to watch that. I know it's an area of interest. And then you'd have the top of that control bar, and then you'd go from there. I mean, this is really the area where you'd reject up in here, right? I personally think if you were going to reject, you would have down here. But the first 5 days are wild, man. Like, you don't know what your inflows are. You don't know what's coming. The only thing that I would say is you do have some support on some of these things. If you go and take a look at like the Qs, which we'll go to here, and you can see these levels, you came again right to the same level. It's like Groundhog Day, right? Bonk, bonk. The 55 held, and you can see that. You have your failed H from itchy speech. This is a minor resistance, which we just blew through like a hot knife through butter. And the NASDAQ, which has been leading, remember, NASDAQ's been leading the market. It's very easy to determine that. And you can see that. And here you are. Now, what do? I didn't get up to that 530. I think you can go from there. And then that 538. Can you get up there? I don't know. But I do like the 530. I do think that's realistic. Again, failed breakdown, like that's a failed H. If you ever broke this, it's on like Donkey Kong. It will fall apart. the hope is CES kind of holds us together. And so you really just kind of want to watch these levels today and then go from there. And then again, if we also throw this on with the NQ, and you can see that as well and see what's going on there. This is when Itchy's FOMC ended. That's also July 11th CPI, negative month over month was that level. And you guys get it, right? Downward trend, bonk, 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 right? H again. And now you're sitting right at what? The 22. And then you'd kind of go from there. So I don't think there's much more. I don't think there's much more to do or to say there. So I would just kind of watch how that's playing out. That's it. I've got some things on here, guys. So I'm just watching out the corner of my eyes. But that's really where you're at with those. If I had to go to some of these others, you're going to ask me about like Tesla. And you're just looking at where you're at. You're over that 22, what you're trying to do. This is that production low number. This is their neckline, and you're sitting right above that neckline. And that's the confirmation of that neckline right here. You can see that right here, right? 460 is a big number for this, but you have some other little guys in here too, you know, that you'd have to watch. Just watch those gap fills, and there's your at the high. And then what I would suggest doing with something like a Tesla is just where are all the players, right? And so they're really sitting at that 26, 27 level on like the anchored VWAP of the peak, and go from there. And you're well above, I believe you're well above where you are from election, you know, and then kind of going from there. And you see that, how that held that election level. So there's your levels. That's what I would use. I think I did NVIDIA because I know you wacky kids are going to ask about NVIDIA next. And then you can see the at the highs, the earnings open, the earnings close from last close, the election gap. Right, there's your election, yay. And then you can kind of go from there, and you can see how you're kind of wedged in here. So I think it's worth noting, you don't have too many closes after earnings. After the earnings move, this is all you have that you've ever closed in this range. So closing in here is a big deal today. And I pay attention to that, just watching how some of this stuff's trading right now, and go from there. So that's a really big, big deal. Oh, I am up $10 in that. Do I want to do anything with it? I'll have to look at that in a minute. Maybe I just take it. Come in. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, tough guy? All right. So, if you start to look at some of this stuff, I would just watch these levels very closely. If I could get a close over 492, like for this level today, that's a big deal. That would be the bee's knees if that could happen. Do the kids still say that, bee's knees? So that's kind of how I see the world. And we can go take a look at the heat map really quickly. And I think this is pretty interesting. Volume, pre-market changes on the hour on the NASDAQ. Tesla's through the roof. But I'm wondering if you're going to hold here or not. And I have a bunch of this, so I might actually start trimming it, trying to figure that out. Here, you should have held. You should have pushed if you were going to push. So some of the stuff's looking a little wonky off the open. It's up, but the question is, does it stay up? Right? Like that's the real question here. So we're about to find out. I think what's really interesting about the NASDAQ 100 are the names that are up, right? Semis. And, you know, and they're the commodity based semis. And then over here, you have more of the semis. Down here, you have some software names. Forget this. But you have some software names like PAYX imploding, MDB, FTNT, which has just been a monster. But this shows you the volume. So it tells you what they're playing. Right? You say it? Say it. I'm still drinking Christmas blend. Don't judge me. It's really good. It tastes like Christmas. I think they put cinnamon in it or something. It's the cat's pajamas. All right. So what are they buying? Say it with me. Semiconductors, capital equipment manufacturers. Oh, if I can give you like a tip, like a really good tip, I'm going to put this out there. And you're going to be like, whatever, boomer, I'm not doing that. Well, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to do it. But the wait list isn't open. I don't want to use that one. Bear with me. Oh, this is a great quote by Voltaire. Get that out there. Tip. Pro tip. Buy a paper. I'm going to put this out here. I was thinking about this today. So you want to start buying a paper newspaper like the Wall Street Journal. And the reason that you want to do this is because you don't want them curating what you're supposed to read. There was a really good article on ASML and why it's so important in the Wall Street Journal. And I guarantee you that no one read that thing because it was like in like a review section about some engineer. I guarantee you it didn't make the front page. Stop reading what they want you to read and start really reading a newspaper. I can't stress that enough. Every weekend I go through all the papers, like all of them during the week. And so I'll just sit there and go through them page by page. You'd be surprised what you can get your hands on. You know, like you'd be surprised the stuff that slips through the cracks that you're just not even understanding because you're so inundated with where they want your attention to go versus where your attention should go. Do it that way, you will. And then we'll go from there. Let's do the S&P 500. Now that you've got my little, you're like, whatever, boomer. I'm telling you, read the newspaper. So it would explain CES. There was so much stuff in there this weekend. I was just thinking about it. I figured I'd pop that out there. I'm telling you the same stuff. Uber, they're all over Uber. Uber speaks tonight or Tuesday night on the CES. So I think that's interesting as well. And then we'll go from there. And then we'll see how that plays out. What time is it? Where are we? Give me a time. I'm 48. I got plenty of time. Yay. And so let's take some questions and then we'll go from there. Let's open another one up. I do like looking at this stuff. You can try SMCI. It doesn't really matter to me. Like it's not something that I would go near. I think it's more interesting to look at like, why is Micron moving? Let's go here to you're going to take me right into that. That's not what I want because then you're going to erase all my stuff. So I got to go into this and then get rid of that and then go here, right? So this is where I would go with this because I think this is really important. You're going to want to watch this today. This thing's been basing. It was funny. I was watching something where someone's like, oh, the market's at complete equilibrium. We're not going to go anywhere. We're going to be in a trading range. Like, wow, could you imagine thinking that the market's actually at equilibrium, that it all makes sense? I never understood the efficient market theory, like never. It just seems so stupid. Sorry for those that like it, but it just never made any sense to me at all. Like to think that human behavior is rational. All right, so pop. Pop goes the weasel goes pop. Third base, anybody? So if you watch those levels, I mean, like I think that's pretty big. 2x of that SMH is different than the SOX. So like if you ever want to see what's leading, you just can go SMH divided by the SOX. And it'll show you what's going on and that breakout. It'll show you that they're leaning towards NVIDIA. They're leaning towards AVGO, right? That's what that will tell you. But if you look at SMH, this thing's setting up to break. I tried earlier. I was just early. Usually I am early, but I really like the way that this is setting up. I would not sleep on this going into CES. I think there's something here. And if we get the SOX leading out of this base, that's what you really want. You want a leader, and then to go from there. I gotta just take a look at this for a second, see where I'm at here, and just see what's going on. What are you doing? For God's sake. Give me a second. See the doji broke right here? And now I've got like this, and we're riding this line. So if I can hold here, great. If not, I got to start thinking about what I'm going to do with some of this. I have a bunch of it. And I don't like dojis that tell me that there's signs of uncertainty. This is what I like, stuff like this. Like liquidity grabs, like this kind of stuff. I don't like this. See how full that bar is? So I guarantee if I go look at the volume, right? So see that volume? So you had a battle here, and that battle was lost. So the question becomes, you know, do I want to be sitting there? Do I not? I don't mean to make you guys don't have to watch this with me. I can throw it on another screen and go from there. But let's go to this. We'll do this. We'll do it this way. We'll load this in. We'll go to new chart. And then I'll take this over here. And then you guys are looking at NVIDIA. Throw that over there so you guys don't have to keep staring at it. And then we'll go back to this. Yay. All right, cool. And then we'll flip this to a bear. And then I can answer questions for a while. Yeah, this is like dark and out of focus, but at least we're bonding. But it's more like a floating head. So we can do that. Like turn that around. Like maybe that'll help. Like less of like the floating head. I don't know. I think I gotta push it back or change the focus. Oh boy, that's too much. I want the head cut off. I guess I don't know. It is what it is. This is what we got today. Small steps. Good. All right. That's good. Let's rock and roll. What's up, John? Happy Monday. Yeah, I saw this with RIVN, and I'm wondering if it's because they're going to come out 26 with a new truck that's going to get that, get what they need. And I'm not sure that that's the case. I don't know why it's moving. I don't know why it's moving the way that it is. And let me just see here. Let me something here. 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. I don't know, man. Is that the one that you have to get involved with? You know, I don't know. I know they have that new truck. I know they're getting money. You know, I was looking at this. I really like that truck. What's so fascinating to me is that when you go to Manheim, which I do, and I look at the price points, man, you can buy one of those things for 40, 50 grand now. People just paid 100 and change for them. You can buy a Plaid for like 50 grand. That's like a year old, 2 years old. So I don't know what's the reason that people are going to buy these cars when they go in the secondary market and buy one that's a year cheaper. Like if my EV, let's say I want an EV, I'm like, yay, the climate, right? And so I'm doing my part, whatever. I won't have to get into it all, but stay focused. So one of the things about it is I can buy it cheaper used than I can get my EV credit for. So like, well, okay, you're giving me 7,500, but I'm about to lose 50 grand in 2 years. So why don't I just buy one that's 2 years old? Like, why do I have to buy a new one? You know, and if you really cared about the planet, you want to buy a used one anyway. So, you know, I don't know, man. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just don't know that that's what I'd want to do. Could you get a short squeeze on it? Could it pop up? Yeah. Could I be way off? Yeah. There could be something there I don't understand. Is it that time already? Is it really? We were having so much fun. All right, let's keep going. Sorry, guys. I'll answer more questions tomorrow. Dual cup and handle. MNT, you got some names there. Oh, yeah. Well, what you want to focus on is the first 5 days. You need the first 5 days to rock here. And I think they're going to. I think the first, but we'll find out, man. We'll find out. It's all on CES right now. And then you have the FOMC minutes. I think they're Wednesday, right? Good morning from Miami. Yeah, get a copy of the Wall Street Journal, man. There was a really good, I do like the way this held that level down here. There was a really good article on ASML, like really good on ASML this weekend. It's one of the reasons why I'm telling people to get the paper. Like if you read this article on ASML, people are going to understand after reading that article that chips do not exist without ASML. Like none of this exists. You don't have an iPhone without ASML right now. Like you just don't. So I don't think people truly get this. I mean, I'm biased. I have a position in this. I plan on holding this for a very long time down here. Like you want to buy this thing when it's washed out, but like I'm up in it. I'm happy, but I'm just telling you, like you want, like Jacob, you want to get that article. Like if you didn't read that, go get the weekend edition of the Wall Street Journal and read it. Like, you know, the average price of these things is $400 million. What else you got in that? You know, their last earnings report here where it dropped down made no sense to me, candidly, but it did what it did. It's just straight up buying, man, on the dips. Really, I want to buy it when it gets under the 55 and flips it. I don't know if I'm going to get that opportunity. So we'll go from there. NVIDIA's pushing here, guys. Probably goes over 150. I think it's got a nice shot at it today. Morning from snowy Canada. I'm not going to be able to go over all of them. SLB. I do think, you know, if you looked at the main sectors last week, do you know that the best performing sector was actually energy? So I do think that you've bottomed. I don't know if now's the time. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think you're early. But I can't go through all those. But I think you're early. But look for the pullback and then the retest. Sophie's interesting to me because I think that you're going to see some M&A activity, and I like where it pulled back to. I think if you get the higher high and you're willing to do the undercut, I think you're good there. I do. I think you're good there. I'm going to go through this. Hey, Mayor. VRT looks great. SMH looks great. VRT looks like a beast. Absolute beast. It did what I needed to do on Friday. I need to get a shot at it. I don't pay up like that. I'll just pass. And then we'll go from there. Ooh, all right. What we got here? What time is it? No, I'm gonna have to jump. I gotta jump, guys. Trade to win today. I'll take more questions tomorrow for sure.